One thing that every speaker I work with seems to be terrified of is forgetting their words. And the ironic thing is that the fear of forgetting your words can often make you do weirder things than just simply losing your place or saying the wrong thing. So I want to give you some suggestions for how to think about forgetting your words and what to do about it. But I'm also going to talk through a couple of examples for me where I have made mistakes and it's actually turned out to be a good thing. So first of all, try to remember that the audience wants to see a human being. They don't want to see a robot. And so assuming that you've done your work, you've put in an effort to prepare something good for them, if something doesn't quite go according to plan, it's actually probably going to make you more endearing because they're going to see that you're real, you're not some object of perfection. What I think tends to happen for speakers is they get to a moment in their talk, it's usually perhaps the end of a sentence or a story, or their mind wanders and they think, oh, I've forgotten my words. Now, I actually think they haven't usually forgotten. It's just that they suddenly get scared because there's a little bit of a silence and they're worried that they will. But the mind starts racing and the mind starts saying, I've forgotten my words. This is embarrassing. The audience is judging me. They're thinking terrible things. I better keep talking so that I can cover it up. And they start talking and it gets faster and faster and faster. But what they're saying isn't really grounded. It's a bit kind of off here in the mind. So instead, we're going to build on an exercise that you've been doing in some different contexts already. Just stop talking. Breathe in. Pause. And while you're pausing, recall where you are in your talk. Presence the story you're about to tell. And when you're ready, start again. Now, I promise you, even if you pause for 2 seconds to do this, you will think that it is 3 hours. But for the audience, you've probably just given them time enough to catch up with you. So give yourself the time to really own your space on stage and own your response to this fear moment. Because if you do, and you speak when you're ready, you've got a stronger presence on stage, but you also avoid the risk of getting caught up in your own thoughts again and having to stop and work out where you are all over again. I promised 2 examples of where I've mucked up and it's actually worked out for the best. And one of those was giving the keynote at a conference and the topic was finding your voice as a woman at work. And so there was I, a woman on stage, finding a voice, and I forgot what I had to say. And it's about 2/3 of the way through, which is a spot often in my workshops or talks. It can feel a little bit more laborious, like I really have to concentrate to stay there. So in this moment, I forgot what I had to say. And I actually said to the audience, I'm sorry, I've just got to work out where I am. And I got my notes, which is why I had my notes, and I looked down them, I found my place, and I started again. After the session, a woman from the audience came up and she said, that was really great. I loved how you showed us in action how this works. Because otherwise you would have come across as too perfect, too rehearsed. So that was really nice. The message that I was trying to get across that day, I was actually able to demonstrate by kind of owning the mistake. And, not even a mistake, but just owning what was happening and involving the audience in this. Because, sometimes when you're talking, if you go off on your own thing, the audience loses you a little bit. But once you bring them back in, they're with you when you start. And the other example is a little funnier. I was doing an acrobalance show. It was quite some years ago now. But we had a move where one of my acrobalance trio partners was standing on my shoulders and she was going to do a handstand on someone else's shoulders. And we stuffed it up so badly. It was so bad. My housemate said, oh, I thought you did it deliberately. I didn't think you could stuff it up so badly. The thing about it was that the audience had been in hysterics. They had laughed so hard. It was the funniest bit of our show. So we actually did it deliberately the next night. So when it comes to making mistakes on stage, it's kind of part of it. Own it, use it, and move forward, taking the audience with you.